welcome back to Nightly Nerds. I'm Tote.
And I'm Ginger.
And we're playing
Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts Final Mix.
Ah, God damn it.
So we were just having a slight discussion before we started up here.
And we can probably splice it in because we do have the audio of it recorded.
Yeah, we do. And I was just talking about how I've had some complaints as we played this. Some of them are just minor critiques. I wouldn't say complaints. And you've been a little more defensive than I think you should be.
I have, 100%.
And because I feel like every time I've said like, well, there's this, you're like, well, at the time, I'm like, no, at the time there were other games that did it.
Yeah, you're right.
And so I think what I'm trying to say is like, there are just some small things in this game where they could have done a little thing, a little tweak here or a little extra thing there, and it would have taken this game to another level.
Yeah.
And especially with this being a remix into a final mix, they could have just as easily added those little things in, and they didn't. Yes,
and I agree. It's mainly comes down to the fact that like I'm a diehard Square Enix fan, and I will see these problems, I will notice these problems. I just don't care.
You ignore them.
As long as my gameplay and my experience isn't ruined, I don't care. And that's that way with a lot of stuff. Like
almost, you need to be more to the right, I think.
Yeah. I need this one specifically. Nope, sorry, that's not a big chest. It looked like a big chest for a moment. Big chests are the maps.
That's what she said.
Realistically, I don't need these. I just kind of like...
Yeah, they're items. Right?
Because you typically like... Because...
Nah, I don't think you're going to make that.
Kingdom Hearts 1... You can. Kingdom Hearts 1 follows the way of the collection games. You know, like the old like Donkey Kong 64 and Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah.
Those type of collection games where it's like, you can get a better way to get there later.
So this is the Square Enix and it's Disney.
Yes, but realistically, it's actually mostly Disney. Because Disney at the time, when this first came out, didn't actually care too much about certain things, which is why the Disney worlds suffer a bit. But as the years went on, and including into the final mix, Disney had a heavier hand in it because, for those that don't know, Square Enix is actually mostly a distribution company when it comes to non-game entertainment.
Yeah.
So like you'll see it stamped on anime. Like Fullmetal Alchemist was like my first notice of it, but it's distributed by Square Enix. So that's essentially why Disney and Square Enix teamed up, because they were in the distribution building together. But
yeah.
No,
I think Disney's distributor was Miramax?
Yes. So when Disney got like really prominent in like the early 2000s, that's when they really started to like, okay, we want this to come out and we want it to be our stuff and this stuff and that. And so like Kingdom Hearts 3 had a major pushback because Disney.
Huh.
Like,
well, they might try to make it perfect, maybe. I don't know.
It wasn't. I enjoyed it, but it's like, as an example,
or not perfect, but make it. Who knows what the real reason was, though? I mean,
as an example, and this is not a major spoiler or anything like that, but Frozen is a world in Kingdom Hearts 3.
What you know from the trailer.
And it is just essentially like the only interactions with the Frozen characters are cookie cutter from the movie.
Oh, okay.
So it's like why are you even here? Are you in here just to make money? Is that literally all you're doing? Because you're making your money. People like the game as is. And when they did that, I was just like, ugh. Because like it's like all of a sudden here's Let It Go, and Sora, Donald, and Goofy are kind of there.
Okay.
And that's my complaint about it.
Well, that's one of my complaints about the whole thing, though, where it's kind of like, do you remember this from the movie?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I remember that, but let's make it good.
But that's why I appreciated like Kingdom Hearts 2 and Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, because it's like it's the main character's story in that world more so than just it's like they wouldn't be able to beat this world without the assistance of like Aladdin or Peter Pan or whoever in whatever world you're going to.
Yeah.
Because your goal isn't to beat their story, your goal is to save their world.
Yeah, so then they can continue their story.
And like that, it's one of the main things that's like I love about the game. And Kingdom Hearts 3 didn't feel that way.
Oh, interesting. Well, anyways, I was gonna say, so this is Disney, right? And you're talking about distribution and stuff. So Disney's in the works to get the Fox catalog right now.
Yes.
So one of the things we were talking about is they might get X-Men now because X-Men is
goodness.
part of Fox,
Yeah.
which would be crazy. But in some other Disney-related news today, I get like the little Twitter news updates on my phone and Google update news things on my phone. And usually it's like things I don't really care about. But today there was one that I was like, yes, when I saw it.
One.
So Disney has reinstated James Gunn as the director of Guardians of the Galaxy. I was like,
I saw that you posted
they
that on
did it right. Yeah, I retweeted it
on our Twitter.
I was like, I that's the report so far, and so far there's nothing to contradict it. So hopefully that doesn't change because it just was announced this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, the keyhole. I was thinking about that line the other day as I was editing this episode.
Yeah.
He's talking about the keyhole, the episode before this. And I did the joke when he's like, he's got Jasmine. He's trying to find the keyhole. I was like, yeah, she's got a keyhole for him. And then I started like doing all these different jokes. Like also like, I've got a diamond in my rough for you. You know, like the Aladdin things. I had some good puns. I can't remember half of them now. I don't know why. I just like started running with Aladdin puns. I think it was like I was like, you can sexualize anything if you say it like that.
You really can. Shit, I can't believe I fucked that up.
I can. Anyway, because I've edited many of these episodes and I've seen a lot of those.
Yeah.
I loved how Agrabah almost turned into another Deep Jungle.
It did.
When all you had to do was go like an extra 5 feet forward.
I did.
And it would have triggered everything.
And I will admit that was my fault. I'm trying to like do this as efficiently as possible.
Yeah. It wasn't as bad as I think,
Deep Jungle.
No, I think it wasn't as bad rewatching it as it was as we were playing it because we were like, oh no, this is going that way again, and then it didn't. But
yeah. Because hands down, I was always complaining that Deep Jungle's the fucking worst world.
Somebody in the chat was like, I like Deep Jungle.
Oh, I know, I saw that.
Was it Lupin? Was it?
I think so.
Yeah, because he changed his channel name from what was it before? I can't remember now.
Oh, and then my brother caught us, or I think it was me specifically, mispronouncing the author's name.
Oh yes, for
Edward instead of Edgar.
Yeah.
Wait a second. Are you Maleficent?
To be honest, I actually totally spaced on this too, but Tarzan actually had a sequel that was actually pretty damn good and probably would have been better as a world in Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, they did a
because it was like a Jaguar Empress kind of thing, and like she had like magic powers and stuff.
That would have made more sense,
It would have
considering that you're fighting the Jaguar the whole time too.
Yeah. But it's like they just did the Sabor Clayton thing from the original Tarzan.
They would have been going Gorilla the whole time.
Yeah, we did that way too much.
But this is already better than the other world because Aladdin's voice is so much more animated than the other people's voices were.
Yes.
His voice acting is better.
All right, so now
how did they get the lamp? I missed that.
So, while we were trying to save Jasmine from because Jafar tossed her into a ceramic pot, and then it turned into like a heartless centipede that we had to beat up. And I beat it up really quickly.
Oh,
Probably
I was totally not paying attention to it.
So then during that whole, fight and whatnot, Iago did Iago and stole the lamp.
Iago doing Iago. Huzzah!
So he did. He's done 2 wishes so far. He did 1 wish to get the keyhole scene. Second one to beat up us with Genie.
So you just fight him the whole time and ignore Genie?
Yeah, because Genie the entire time will sit there. If you listen to him, he'll be like, "I'm sorry for this, guys. Run!" Because he's bound by the lamp to beat us up.
So I'm going to say something here that may make people angry, but I was never, honestly, a really big fan of Robin Williams.
No, I totally get that. I
always felt like I enjoyed the Genie and some of his other stuff. A lot of his early things I liked a lot, but after a while, he kind of was a one-trick pony.
No, I agree.
He would just bring like this crazy manic energy to whatever he was doing, and just go. But it wasn't always funny. It wasn't always relevant. Sometimes a little offensive, but like not in a. Like I'm not one to get offended by comedy, but I mean like when I say offensive, it offended my like my intelligence in a way.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't always kid stuff either. He was also a notorious joke stealer, from what I understand,
Yes,
in the
he
stand-up
was.
community. But though he always apologized for it and usually paid the comedians.
I think one of his best jokes is actually one of his stand-up bits about the invention of golf. Because he does this very animated, slightly racist accents, and so he does this Scotsman. He's like, yeah, hey, you know what? You should invent a sport where you hit the ball in a gopher hole, but not like really close, but like from 300 yards away. And that's one of my favorite like bits he does, and it was actually, I think it was like early 2000s is when he did that one, and it was like significantly better than like some of his later career, because he seemed to have lost like his energy spark that he had. Like,
I mean, dramatically, I loved him,
oh yeah,
but it was just, and I know that this genie isn't him, but it just made me think of him. And I remember when he passed away, it was horrible, it was sad. I guess it was similar to when Mr. Rogers passed away.
Right?
People made this huge deal out of it, and it really didn't affect me that much. Like Mr. Rogers, I appreciate what he was, but I came from a loving home, so I didn't need him to teach me how to be a good person. So the impact on my life from Mr. Rogers wasn't that much. In fact, when I was a kid, Mr. Rogers bored me.
Oh yeah, same.
You know, I just didn't watch it.
And as much as it's a little funny, so like Mr. Rogers had that very kind energy to him.
Yeah.
Bob Ross had that same kind of energy, but
And I would rather watch Bob Ross.
Bob Ross, hands down.
Yeah. Because I felt like I was actually learning something.
Oh yeah.
Especially as someone who got into art as I got older.
Yeah.
I actually was into it then too, but I actually learned stuff from Bob Ross. The other day I was at my sister's house and we couldn't find a movie to watch. So we just threw on Bob Ross and chatted the whole time. It was like, it was amazing. It was so fun to do.
He is my lullaby sometimes when I can't sleep. I'll put him on Netflix and just
fall asleep to his soothing voice as he talks about
he's so
happy
fucking
trees.
comforting.
We all
man.
need a little friend, and we're gonna do this little tree.
A very kind way of talking. Even though people will like bitch and complain that like his art is derivative of his teacher and whatnot.
Well, everything is derivative. Nothing's original.
Oh, genie!
Yep, that's the end.
And that'll end this episode.
All right, everybody, that'll end this episode of Nightly Neds. As always, I'm Tote.
And I'm Ginger.
We'll catch you guys next time.
Bye-bye. Hey, did you like that video?
Well, if you did, click the box on the right for another.
Click the box on the left for a playlist.
Of course, you could always just subscribe by clicking the link in the middle.
Come find us on social media.
There are links in the description below.
Don't be afraid to leave us a comment.
Thanks for watching. I'm Tote.
I'm Ginger. See you then.
Bye.